so like I said, it's in drop D tuning. You're going to take your sixth string, yeah, and bring it down to a D. Now, the chord that I'm playing is a D chord, but if you could see, what I'm doing here is I'm playing it with my first finger on the D, on the A note, my third finger on the F sharp note, and my second finger on the D note. And with my right hand, I'm grabbing all three of those notes with three fingers. So I'm using my ring finger in here to grab that second string, my middle finger on the third string, and my first finger on the fourth string. And my thumb is just going to be playing a straight bass note like this. So I have two eighth notes and one bass note. Now in the second part of that measure, I'm going to be adding my pinky onto the third string, fourth fret. And then picking it up again and putting it down again. So listen to how this sounds. Okay, you see that that third beat, and 2 and 3 and 4. That 3 and 4. Without pinky, 3 and 4. Okay, 3 and 4. Now the last upbeat there, he's going to take that whole D note and just move it back, and then move it up again and repeat the measure. On the second line, that last measure, I'm just ending it like this. I'm not going back again, because this is the measure just before you go to your G7 chord or your G chord. So you're just going to leave it right there. Now I'm going to go into my G7, but I'm just going to add my second finger in the bass. And it's going to stay there on the B. And I'm going to be adding my pinky in a couple of places and then dropping down my first finger. So listen how this measure sounds. So with my right hand, I'm alternating my first and second finger. I'm alternate index, middle, and that gives me a little bit more control. You can use just one finger to do that. Here I'm just using my index finger, but I find it's easier for me to alternate the fingers. At any rate, when you're doing this, when you play that B flat note, and when you go to play the open B next, pick up the pinky. Same thing when you go to the D. When you go to play the open E, pick up the pinky. Then when you're getting down to that last F note, you can leave those notes down. It'll sound okay there. Then back to your D. Sometimes I'll slide that. I'll slide, and I'm sliding up, and my thumb will come down. So that's another thing you may want to try. Now when I go to the A7, just a straight A7, and I'm playing that with my thumb and first two fingers. So keeping the steady bass and eighth notes. I go to my G7. Here I want to get down all three fingers, my F, my B, and the D, and go. And then finally, I'm going to go back into my D lick again. So that's pretty much one part of this. Get into the next part, and it's what Tommy Johnson plays while he's singing.